Welcome to Biology Made Easy. In today's lesson, we are explaining different types of circulatory system. You have open circulatory system, closed, single, double, pulmonary circulation, and systemic. Now, we need to understand that the type of circulatory system, how blood or substances flow through the organism, depends on two major things. One is the type of heart, and then the presence or absence of conducting tubes or vessels. Well, the heart serves as a pump that pushes the substances. Whether there are tubes or no tubes also matter, because when there are tubes, when the heart pumps substances, it goes through tubes and distributes to the organism. When there are no tubes or vessels to take the substances around, that is also a matter that needs explanation. So, the circulatory system depends on the type of heart, presence or absence of conducting tubes. Type of heart, we want to look at organisms like an insect, fish, and then mammals, like a human being. Now, the insect has a tubular heart and no conducting tubes. Fish has two-chambered heart with conducting tubes, and the conducting tubes are blood vessels. Two-chambered, one is an atrium and ventricle. Then you have humans, mammals, they have four-chambered hearts with conducting tubes. So fish, you have two chambers, atrium and a ventricle. Mammals, like humans, you have four-chambered, right atrium, left atrium, right ventricle, left ventricle. Four-chambered hearts. Now, in both fish and mammals, the atrium or atria receive blood from the body. They receive blood and the ventricles push out blood into the body. So this taking in blood, this giving out blood. In both fish and mammals, the atrium or atria receive deoxygenated blood from areas of the body, and the ventricles pump oxygenated blood to the body. So the ventricles do oxygenated blood. That is something we want to just take notes. Now, the types of circulatory systems, we have open circulatory system, we are going to explain, found in insects. We have closed circulatory system in chordates, fishes, amphibians, reptiles, birds, mammals. You have single circulatory system like in a fish. You have double circulatory system in mammals like humans. You have pulmonary circulation in mammals, systemic circulation in mammals. We want to explain all these terms very well. First of all, we want to explain open circulatory system, which is found in insects. So I have an insect drawn here. This insect have a tubular heart, and then the function of this tubular heart is to pump clear fluid, that is hemolymph. These insects, they don't have red blood. They have clear fluid in which substances move to feed cells. And the tubular heart pumps this clear fluid, which is called hemolymph, into spaces in the insect. So these are spaces in the insect. And the spaces in the insect is called hemocell. It's fluid-filled space. So there are no conducting tubes. Tubular heart pumps lymph called hemolymph, and it fills these spaces and then serves cells. Beside the big tubular heart, there are smaller tubular hearts in other parts of the body that also pumps this clear fluid, hemolymph, into the spaces that baths cells. So this is known as open circulatory system because the heart pumps the fluid into spaces open. That is in insects. Then we have closed circulatory system, which is found in chordates. We've mentioned chordates, reptiles, fishes, amphibians, mammals, birds have this. Now, in closed circulatory system, the heart pumps blood which flows permanently in tubes. So the circulatory system is closed because blood is continually flowing in tubes. So we have the heart here, and this heart will pump blood into an artery, and the artery breaks into smaller tubes, arterioles, and the arterioles will break into smaller tubes, capillaries. Capillaries will join together to form slightly bigger tubes called venules. The venules will join together to form a big vein that will take the blood back to the heart. So blood flows into tubes and serve the cells, and the blood goes back into the heart. The heart pumps blood into the tubes, and so blood is continually, permanently in the tubes. And as we will learn very soon, substances in the tubes will flow and get into the cells. So closed circulatory system means blood flows continually in tubes. It doesn't flow out of the tube. And closed circulatory system is found in all chordates. We've given ourselves examples of chordates already, isn't it? Now we have also to explain single circulatory system, which is found in fishes, and then double circulatory system, which is found in mammals, for example. Good. In both single circulatory system and double circulatory system, they are closed circulatory system. So we can say something like single closed circulatory system, double closed circulatory system, because the blood flows continually in tubes. Single or double circulatory system. So, single circulatory system is found in fish, for instance. What does that mean? In this system, this is the definition that makes it easy. The blood goes through the heart once. When it has gone through the whole body, one complete circulation. So fish, we have an atrium, we have ventricle, that is the heart. Now blood is going to go through this heart once. When it has gone through the whole circulation once. So we have the heart here, we have the rest of the body, we have the gills. Now, blood from the body is deoxygenated. Oxygen is taken out of the blood by the cells of the body. So, deoxygenated blood from the body enters the heart. And as we said, blood enters the atrium of the heart. The blood flows from the atrium of the heart to the ventricles. The ventricles pumps the blood with pressure and goes to the gills. The blood is deoxygenated, and so in the gills, the blood becomes oxygenated. Oxygen is taken into the blood by the gills. So the blood that leaves the gills is oxygenated. But the blood that leaves the gills is low pressure, because in the gills, the blood goes through capillaries. And when blood has gone through capillaries, it loses pressure. So in single circulatory system, the blood goes through the heart once, and when it has gone through the whole body, once. But it's inefficient. Let's use here to explain. You have the body, low pressure deoxygenated blood from the body goes through the heart, it goes into the atrium pushes the blood into ventricles, the ventricle pumps the blood with high pressure into the gills, and you see all the blood here is deoxygenated, low oxygen. So it goes into the gills to get oxygen, but by the time the blood has gone through the gills, it has lost pressure, and this blood is oxygenated but low pressure, but has to go through the whole body again. That is why single circulatory system is inefficient, because the blood loses pressure in the gills before going through the rest of the body. This is single circulatory system. Fishes that have gills cannot be too large, because the blood that goes through the body is low pressured to start with, and then it loses so much pressure that has to go to the heart to be pumped with pressure, but has to go to the gills before going to the body. That is why whales are not fishes, they are mammals. Whales have lungs. They come close to the surface of the water to breathe in air. So big ones that we think are fishes, whales, lungfishes, they have lungs and not gills because of such inefficient way of circulation. Now we want to look at double circulatory system, which you have in mammals. And in this, you have the four-chambered heart. Look here, fishes have one chambered, one atrium, one ventricle. Mammals have two atria, two ventricles, four chambered. The left side and the right side are completely separated, right? And as we said, blood flows into the atrium, gets into the ventricles, and flows out. Good. So in double circulatory system, the blood passes through the heart twice. That is the key. Here the blood passes through the heart once. Single circulatory system. Double, the blood passes through the heart twice when it has gone one complete circle of the body, circuit through the body. So this is how it does it. Blood from the rest of the body, which has lost oxygen and pressure, it is deoxygenated, low pressure. It goes to the right side of the heart, right atrium, and moves to the right ventricle to be pumped with pressure before it goes to the lungs to be oxygenated. And when it has gone through the lungs to be oxygenated, it loses pressure because it went through capillaries. So the blood loses pressure. So the blood goes back to the heart, but this time the left side, that is the left atrium. The left atrium pushes the blood into the left ventricle, and the left ventricle pumps this oxygenated blood with high pressure to the rest of the body. Very efficient. So, in double circulatory system, blood passes through the heart twice when it makes one complete circuit through the whole body. This is how I have diagrammatically done it. Blood from the body, which is low pressure because it's gone through capillaries, is also deoxygenated, comes to the right side of the heart. This is it, right side. Right atrium, and then goes into the right ventricle, and in the right ventricle the blood is pumped with high pressure to the lungs. So high blood pressure, deoxygenated blood goes to the lungs, and in the lungs the blood is oxygenated but it becomes low pressure, so low pressure oxygenated blood, and it goes back to the heart so that it will be pumped with pressure before it goes to the whole body. Very neat. This is double circulatory system, and that is it. Now, this double circulatory system can also be divided into pulmonary circulation and systemic circulation. Pulmonary circulation is heart. So you have blood from heart to lungs back to heart. That's pulmonary. So in this diagram, we have from here blood from heart to lungs to heart. This is pulmonary circulation. From heart to lungs and back to heart. From heart to lungs back to heart. That's pulmonary. From heart to lungs back to heart. Pulmonary. And then we have systemic circulation, is blood from heart to the body and back to heart. Systemic. Blood from heart to the rest of the body. So from here, left ventricle goes all the rest of the body, and it comes back to the heart, to the right atrium. So systemic circulation is blood from heart to all over the body and back to heart. That's systemic circulation. So this brings us to the end of our lesson on explanation of these circulation terms. If the lessons have been found useful, please give us your thumbs and kindly subscribe. Thank you very much. Goodbye.